As we go into this, it's the invisible. It's invisible. Again, that's the problem. It's an invisible force that everybody's catering to. And whoever controls a man's mind or his thinking controls his destiny. You can't get out of it until you get another program to change the energy of your thought that goes into your energy field. And then that's going to bring those things to you need. So again, all I'm doing is getting everybody's catering. Go into this. It's the invisible. It's invisible. Again, that's the problem. It's an invisible force that everybody's catering to. And whoever controls a man's mind or his thinking controls his destiny. You can't get out of it until you get another program to change the energy of your thought that goes into your energy field.
Or what do you think the Moorish paradigm is? And Noble Ali said, in order to change the people, you must change their literature, because he knew whatever they're reading, whatever they're consuming mentally, that's where all their influences are coming from. So if you're consuming garbage music, garbage TV shows, you got garbage role models, garbage, people with garbage habits around you, then you're consumed by that garbage. And then slowly but surely you will become that which you're influenced by. Well, let's hear this one more time.
Again, that's the problem. It's an invisible force that everybody's catering to. And whoever controls a man's mind or his thinking controls his destiny. You can't get out of it until you get another program to change the energy of.
What's the other program? The Moorish paradigm. I'll never forget, somebody told me that Moorish stuff ain't gonna work. And then I just thought, I thought like that they were ignorant, and so I didn't give that much energy. But I just knew that they just don't know. They just don't know. They got your minds, because the woman didn't used to work. The man used to work. The woman was at the house with the babies. So the mind was coming from the mother. The condition of the mother is the condition of the child. If the mother's in bondage, the child's in bondage, period. Doesn't matter what you want to do as the father. The condition of the mother is the condition of the child. And this is a fact, because the first schoolroom, the first class is the womb of woman. Okay? So all they got to do is control your mind, right? In order to get the soul, they got to get the mind. That's what I said in that bar. In order to get the soul, they got to get the mind. So they stick them up, lethal injection, how they hit them up. So he said that you need a different mindset, basically. And Noble Ali told you, go back to the mindset of your ancient foremothers and forefathers. He didn't say go back to the mindset of your dumb ancestors from the last 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago. The ones that didn't fix this thing, right? He's talking about your ancient foremothers and forefathers. Ancient, you know what that means? Ancient, the ancestors didn't even have to eat. When you start talking about telekinesis and teleportation and all that stuff like that, we could probably get back to that, but you're not gonna do it on a low vibration, especially eating food, because food is a lower vibration of light. And in order to become lighter than a feather, right? According to the Mayat practices, dealing with weighing the heart. That heart got to be light as a feather, but that body does too, because that heart ain't gonna get light if you're eating pork chops. The heart's gonna get disease eating that stuff. You know what I mean? That's where everyone's dying from heart problems, blood problems, different organs failing. And how is it that when you fast, you heal, you regenerate? Everybody knows that. That's not even a debate. It is a well-known fact. And then Dr. Sebi came and said intercellular cleansing. Matter of fact, where's you see my other phone around there somewhere? Because we could go right into that document we was just reading. You see my other phone somewhere? No? I could pull it up right here. See if we can find it. Give me 1 second. Oh yeah, it was this one right here. Actually, let's get into it. Oh, this is gonna be a good build. Now, I didn't even plan this one, right? The health benefits of grounding negative ions. Now, nobody's saying just stop eating, right? Because if you stop eating, you're gonna die, obviously. But the whole point is a 3-step process throughout your life that I'm looking at now, dealing with this Breatharian knowledge, learning from brothers like Eli Tom and Lamine, and then doing my own independent research. So, like, the whole thing is not to just stop eating, you know what I mean? Because your body has to be strong enough to be able to fast a day, fast 2 days, fast 3 days, fast a week, fast 30 days. You see what I'm saying? And so it's a process, it's a training of the mind, because it's a lot of it is willpower, and then it's also a building up of the body. So we're talking about building up the electrical system in the body. You know what I'm saying? Building up or strengthening the organs and cleaning the blood, so that, you know, because everything is functioning off that blood circulating. So you want to have clean blood. So do the knowledge on having clean blood and all that. But the whole thing is it's not to just stop eating. It's to identify what is the food for, right? Once you identify what is the food for, then you realize, oh, okay, I'm eating this because for energy, right? Okay, so I'm eating this so I don't die. That's what you're saying. You think you got to eat to die. I mean, you got to eat to not die. So yes, that's true. But what you don't know is that you can cultivate the energies in your body, and then you can also elevate your body to basically your mind to a mental status, and your body to a physical state where you're being nourished off of nature, not the food part, right? So you could be nourished by planting your feet on the ground, getting sun, doing a little exercise. You see what I'm saying? And then meditation, right? Which would actually be the first thing that you need to get into. Learning how to breathe right, you know, having a spine erect, and then, you know, just learn whatever little practices you can learn, do your own research, and then figure out what kind of meditation you like, what's good for you, and then work with that one, and then pick up new ones as you go. So with that being said, the whole thing is to replace the nourishment that we're claiming that we're getting from the food, that we think we're getting from the food. We probably are getting some nourishment from some of the food, but at the same time, it's also having negative effects on us as well, because the food, everybody who eats food dies, okay? But he who eats less lives longer. So basically, we're going to go into this whole grounding thing real quick. All right. Let's see. Let's start right here. Science of charged particles. Like you learned in school, everything on Earth is made up of matter. There's really vibration, but let's keep going. All matter consists of atoms, which consist of protons, neutrons, and electrons. If an atom has more protons than electrons, it has a positive charge. More protons, positive charge, okay? Now, even though we tend to appreciate positivity in an emotional sense, when it comes to atoms and our health, negative is actually better. Negatively charged particles abound. Hey, stop. Stop moving that chair. You're pulling the cord. Naomi, grab the cord so he don't pull it, because he's about to knock the whole thing down. All right. Where was we at? All right. Negatively charged particles abound on the Earth's surface, and you can get negative electrons by planting your feet on the Earth. Everyday items that emit a positive charge on the other hand, include cell phones, televisions, pollution, and Wi-Fi. High concentrations of positive ions are actually detrimental to your health. You can remove any charged state by grounding. Grounding your feet is the same process as grounding a gasoline tank to keep it from exploding. The only way to ensure electrostatic energy, or other words, static, doesn't explode the gas is to connect it to the earth and neutralize the charge. You can change your own charge by getting a transfer of electrons from the earth too. The human body, when connected to the ground, creates a closed circuit for energy transfer. The energy literally supplies you with electrons to neutralize your charge. The earth literally supplies you with electrons to neutralize your charge. So does your charge really have any effect on your health? According to science, it totally does. Health benefits of grounding. Earthing or grounding with your feet has significant research-backed scientific benefits. Don't take it from me, take it from the research on benefits of grounding. Essentially, negative ions are antioxidants. There we go. Now listen to that. And antioxidants, examples of antioxidants would be like vitamin C, right? Which they tell you eat the orange. Or whatever. What did they tell you for vitamin C? They said the oranges. Yeah, they say vitamin C for the orange, but vitamin C is an antioxidant, and you can get antioxidants from the earth. So that means, the negative ions that you're getting from the earth is a form of antioxidant. Why? Because they neutralize oxidants or free radicals. They allow your body to achieve equilibrium or homeostasis at a cellular level. Negative ions reduce inflammation, which contributes to chronic disease, improve sleep, reduce cortisol levels, relieve pain, faster healing, calms the sympathetic nervous system. Sound like you gain control of your of yourself, mastering yourself, right? Because govern. Let's go to etymology. Government, late 14th century, act of governing or ruling. 1550s, system by which a thing is governed, especially a state. A state is a group of people. From Old French, government, control, direction, administration. Modern French, government. From governor, to steer, be at helm of, govern, rule, command, direct. From Latin, gubernere, to direct, rule, guide, govern, originally to steer, to pilot. See govern, meaning governing power in a given place, is meant from 1702. Compare governance. Govern. Oh, yeah, let's do this. Meant. Common suffix of Latin origin, forming nouns originally from French and representing Latin mentum, which was added to verb stems to make nouns indicating the result or product of the action of the verb, or the means or instrument of the action. In vulgar Latin and Old French, it came to be used as a formative in nouns of action. French inserts an E between the verbal root and the suffix, as in as in commencement, from commencer, with verbs in I is inserted instead as insentiment from sentir. See. Used with English verb stem from 16th century. For example, amazement, betterment, merriment. The last of which also illustrates the habit of turning Y to I before this suffix. The stems to which ment is normally appended are those of verbs. Freaks like oddment and fundament should not be made a precedent of. They are themselves due to misconception of merriment, which is not for the adjective, but for an obsolete, very merry and rejoice flower. All right, let's go back over here. So the whole thing, okay. So what I was getting at was that you have to govern your own mind, okay? And there's ways of nourishing the body without consuming food. All right. Right now I'm on day 4. Just fluids. So 3 days, the first 3 days I just did water, and now I had some coconut water because I started feeling weak from the moment I woke up on the 4th day. So I was feeling kind of weak. So, but check it out. I worked out on the 3rd day, right? And then I felt weak on the 4th day. But after I had some coconut water, without the piece of coconut in it, I was good. I worked out today again, and I'm still good going in on this bill. So, yeah, we should start recognizing the ways that nature can sustain us other than food consumption. Because just being able to take in less food, right there, you're saving finance, you're saving food, you know what I mean? And then, that way it'll be easier to reach our goal of feeding humanity or uplifting humanity if we know that we're teaching these children how to use their minds and their bodies to their fullest potential, to whatever extent we know that we can use them. And if we know that we don't need food all the time, and we can cut down on that, and we can have higher levels of energy, and we can actually have access to other, spiritual benefits, right, so to speak, then we should be practicing that consistently. All right. So you get improved sleep, reduce cortisol levels, relieve pain, faster healing, calms sympathetic nervous system. I don't even like to limit these amazing benefits to bullet points, but for the sake of readability, I will. We could go in depth about each one of those. They're not just a side note, they're the headlines. As the study authors state, the Earth's surface is the battery for the planetary life. The Earth's surface is the battery. Charge up, more. Charge up. Another study of the effects of earthing indicates how earthing the human body may be an essential element in the health equation, along with sunshine, clean air and water, nutritious food, and physical activity. Real scientific proof that we need to reconnect with the earth. Now check this out. When were rubber-soled shoes invented? 1892. 1892. So you wasn't walking around with rubber shoes before that. So if you going, I mean, not saying, oh, we can't grow with the advancements in technology or whatever, but that's not an advancement. That's a dumb down. Putting rubber soles in your shoes to where you're disconnected, that you can't get the electricity from the earth. You can't get the negative ions. You know dang well that rubber stops electricity, and they knew that too when they made them. Let's just put these on their feet. Why? Because they know your power. And they can't let you find this stuff out. But I mean, it's common information now on the internet. It's just that the people are their energy is being moved a different way, to where they're following the trends that is deaf culture. All those trends is dealing with deaf culture. All of that stuff to turn you mean woman with woman, man with man and stuff, that's to stop reproduction. All this food, the baby food and stuff, they put stuff in that stuff to mess the babies up. The vaccines, they put stuff in that too. That's not natural. Like, when you don't eat, your body heals. And when you plant your bare feet on the earth, your body also heals. And then the sun also, your body photosynthesizes it, turns it into vitamin D and everything else that they're not telling you that it does.
Of your thought that goes into your energy field. And then that's the problem. It's an invisible force that everybody's catering to. And whoever controls a man's mind or his thinking controls his destiny. You can't get out of it.
What they tell you? They told you 3 meals a day. They told you bread. They told you cheese, which we already finding out. You can do the research. You're not even supposed to be eating that stuff. You're not even supposed to be eating that stuff. It's causing all kind of problems. What you eat is the reason you die. Eating is the reason you die. It might prolong your death, but it's certain.
Until you get another program to change the energy of your thought.
Another program to change the energy of your thought.
It goes into your energy field.
And it goes into your energy field. So now, because you can only be what you know. So it's funny when people say, "Oh, I don't need the knowledge. I don't care about the knowledge. I just deal with the energies. The energies does it for me." Well, you can only be what you know. So, and then how would you even know energy if you don't have the knowledge of that? Don't you see these people walking around right now? They don't see the energies right now. They don't see the energies right now that are sustaining them. That if they could bring more light into the body, they wouldn't even have to eat. And they could live happily ever after. Right? You don't have to go to work to go get some fiat, to go get some food. Because you don't have to even eat. Because you open up those energy centers within you and you rise to that higher state of consciousness, to where the body is being sustained by the higher consciousness in you. That's the higher self.
Controls his destiny. You can't get out of it until you get another program to change the energy.
Here comes the Morse paradigm. Another program to change the energy of your thought. But this program is rooted in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. the way Noble Drew Ali set it up. No matter all the confusion and all the BS that goes on, right? With all the agents and the dirty Moors and all that, the foundation is still there. It's in chapter 1 and 2 and 3. Those 3 chapters alone should be able to get this Breatharian knowledge, get those 3 chapters, and fully comprehend what it is that you need to do in order to save yourself. Raise your vibration, because when you fix yourself, you fix in nature at the same time. Don't you notice the worse that the people get, the worse that it gets out here in nature? Well, when you start to uplift the people, then it naturally uplifts everything around it.
Of your thought that goes into your energy field.
Right. Because your energy field is reacting with everything else in nature. So if your energy field is on 10, what do you think that's going to do to everything around you? People around you are going to want to be, people they're going to feel good around you. The animals, the plants, everything. You're going to be in tune.
And that's going to bring those things to you need. So again, all I'm doing is giving you a download of something different. A new idea from the old idea.
So when you commit yourself, then the energy.
I like how you did say that. Commit yourself. Because there's only one law. Mm-hmm. And that's the law of pleasure. Mm-hmm. So there's a force outside of us that's going to do 2 things. Mm-hmm. It's either going to, when you get away from the center, mm-hmm. your center, it's going to respond. And when you go closer to it, it's going to respond. No in between. Uh-oh. So you must engage it.
Engage.
To respond back to the center. Like I was dealing with now seeking Damona, and he talked about his knees getting better. He, through the meditation that he was taught, he responded, or how do you use that word? Engaged. He engaged it. Mm-hmm. And that's why everything got cleared up.
Right.
You made the forces respond to healing.
Because he
committed
himself to what he was taught.
He committed it. That's what we're talking about. So that's why this isn't about like what a lot of people go into it. They just deal with the physical food part and have problems. There's even people who die, in the past, not truly being educated. You ain't got to worry about the food part. All you got to do now is come into the realization and engage it. And when you see the health improve, that shows you engaging your center. That's how we know there's an indication coming.
So there's a relative law once you engage it.
There's a relative law. Exactly. So we know now. Oh, man, I love this. Now, listen at this. But it's those belief systems that's messing us up. The feelings and everything. Now, listen at what they say. Shalom. So now we got a word that the human family saw. They've been coining around, and that's that word soul. Our soul. All right. But even if you get an intellectual person, they'll say, well, my physical body has to die. That's that belief system again. But the soul lives forever. All right. Well, if it lives forever, won't you get one with it then? That's all I'm saying again. But it's that language that's separating everything. Now, let's take a crack at it.
There's one thing in which when we say the soul, we don't say the soul like the world think it as and project it as. We say the soul is the inner organ of the body.
Right. Let's get into it, because we don't want to separate that. I'm glad you went there. You said it's the inner organs of the body. Mm-hmm. I'm glad you said that. Now let's hit on the outskirts. Because one thing when I be teaching this message, everybody talk about they want to, especially, also in a lifestyle of celibacy. So therefore, people say, well, what about a soulmate? Okay, whatever that is. But we got that word soulmate. But let's go into soul brother or soul sister, which is an African-American term. Now listen to what they're saying it is. It's a man or woman whose thoughts, feelings, and attitudes closely match those of another. It's a kindred spirit. So if the unified consciousness, which it is a consciousness, is thinking one way, and humanity and their soul or their inward organs is thinking another way, they're not a kindred soul.
Right.
They're not a kindred spirit. Because the thoughts and attitudes are not the same. One is perpetuating life, the other one is saying, I must die. Why should it sustain you? Y'all are not connected. You're not one soul. So therefore, when we turn this around on this knowledge, you want the same thoughts and feelings to become a kindred spirit with the unified consciousness. So if you're getting in the soul now, the same thoughts and feelings to become a kindred spirit with the unified consciousness. So if you're getting in the soul now and saying it's your inward organs, I'm glad you hit that. Because you just made it real. You just brought it back home. Tangible. Well, we can see it. We can feel it. If it's invisible, you don't know what to work with. So you're looking at a living soul. Because nephesh is basically a living being. A soul, somebody I can see. So when I started out saying you're already looking at a being of light, because all you see is light. You're looking at a living soul. And if I'm being sustained off the matrix, because I'm a breatharian, I got the same thoughts and feelings as the unified frequency. That's all I did. I came back into my body. I'm not planning on leaving it. Where am I supposed to go? I never died before, so why should I look for it? That don't even make sense to me. Rushing head first into death. Uh-oh. Now listen.
We're going to have to cut it short, man. I don't know if it's going to even take this whole video. Islam, peace and love to all the Moors.